multistreamingfinancing.com.
Good afternoon and welcome to the council, everybody. I'm your host, Charlie Pacello, and boy, we've got a very beautiful, warm, loving show that we want to do for you today. And before we get into the show, I just want to do a quick shout out to KUHS TV Radio Denver. We are broadcasting live here in the beautiful city of Denver, Colorado, and all across this nation, all across the world. We are bringing the best programming and live DJs and VDJs and shows for you to be able to listen to out there around the globe. We're being listened to by so many different countries, at least 40 plus, and on 6 different continents. It is such an incredible ability to reach all of you in this with this amazing technology. And our mission here is to bring you quality shows, authentic conversations about the things that are happening to us all around the world, and to help us to strive to become a better city, a better nation, a better world. And we celebrate our commonalities, our goodness, and our humanity right here at KUHS TVRadioDenver.com. Folks, we're going through some difficult times and challenges. Kind of a tough time to be able to, try to navigate what's what in this world, and how we're going to be able to. What are we going to look like when we come out of this? And how are we going to be able to stay true to each other in the midst of all this chaos and dysfunction and distrust and separation and fear of what the other person is thinking? And, we want to be able to find a way to be able to bring you some heartwarming stories today, to kind of lift up the mood a little bit. I'm sure a lot of you are feeling that heaviness that's kind of been hanging over everybody. I know I certainly have been feeling it, where you're just, overweight down by a lot of the stuff that's going on in the world. And it just seems like there's this, quiet, helpless rage that we all kind of feel. We want to rage at something, but we don't know what we want to rage at, and we feel helpless about it, because even if we do rage and we do blow up and let our steam off, it doesn't do us any good anyway. We've just created more problems and more havoc and more pain. And it just seems like we're in this time that of major transformation, where we are being torn apart. And it's individually, in our families, among our communities, our country, and the world. And, it's forcing us to focus on really what's important in life, to get down and to get really what is true for me, what is good for me, what does real goodness look like. And there was no better teacher in my life than the woman sitting next to me, who is my mother. And she obviously has given me the blessings of being alive, and to be able to, she gave me the values, the foundation, the lessons of what's really important. A lot of it had to do with where she grew up and how she grew up, and those old world values that she brought with her, along with her family, to be able to lean on each other when times got tough, to be able to help each other when, crises happened, when wars happened, when pandemics happened, when plagues happened, whatever it may have been. They learned how to lean on each other, to place faith in each other in a way that I think a lot of us have lost today. And so we want to kind of bring some of these memories to life for you here on this show, for you around the world, as we go through this very, challenging time. So I'd love to introduce to you my beautiful mom. She needs no introduction. She's her own star. Her star shines so bright. It's incomparable. And so thank you, Mom. Her name is Adriana Capra. And go ahead.
Well, thank you, son. You are a joy of my life, one of 4. Mm-hmm. And I am honored to be here today. And hopefully I can inspire somebody to have a better day today. Our world is going through a difficult time. This pandemic has really put a damper on our lives, all of us. But remember, we are in it together. and we will get through it together.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing I think people, I know I see people angry, but who are we angry at?
Yeah.
And we have to, I believe in the 3 F's: faith, family, and friends. And with that, you get through it. Otherwise, you can't, because this doesn't make any sense, and nobody wanted it. I think, nobody in this world wanted this, but we're going to get through it. But we have to stick together and be kind. Be kind to each other. You don't have to love everyone, but you don't have to be ugly either. That's the way I've always lived, and it has worked for me, and it worked in the past, and it will work in the future.
Well, and I think what you're saying, Mom, is right. There's so many people there's just a lot of anger right now, and a lot of hate, and a lot of distrust with people. And it's like, you came here as a little girl, and there wasn't that way. You just
No.
didn't feel that way. There was a lot more sense of, yeah, we might have our differences, we might have our disagreements and different political philosophies and stuff like that, but we all were able to get along and realize we all had a common denominator in that we loved America, we loved our country, we loved the people around us. I think one of the wonderful, most beautiful lessons that you taught us was to accept and love people for who they are, not for the color of their skin, not because of their gender or their preferences of who they want to be with. You always taught us to treat people the way you want to be treated, and you exemplified that. And I think that it's such an important, lesson for us to learn or relearn as we're being tested right now on, how do we want to be? What kind of people do we want to be?
I totally agree, Charlie, and I think people need to, like I said, you can't love everyone. That's, but you could be kind to everybody. Kindness, just be kindness.
Mm-hmm.
The hate it's so overwhelming in this time, which is really sad. It makes me very sad to see people driving and they're angry. Everybody's angry at everybody. Who are we angry at?
Mm-hmm.
And life is so short. There's an old Italian saying, la vita è una facciata di finestra. That means life is, you open the window, you look out, and it's over. But meanwhile, why can't we just be kind to each other and accept each other's differences, which we're all different. I'm Italian. We scream and we holler. We, with my siblings. But then, the next day it's all okay.
Right.
I used to fight with my mother, and we'd holler at each other, and the next day she'd call me. She'd go, "Okay, what are you doing today?" So the most important thing is we're all in this together. Life is priceless, and so we got to remember that. And what's important, we're all going to die, and when
we are, Ma. We're all going to die. That's just a foregone conclusion,
yeah. And then we could, we should have, we could, and then guilt. Don't have any guilt.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you have to be perfect, because you have to show emotion, but forgive each other. Forgive each other and help each other if you can. I remember when I was first married, and I remember the people that were in the street in the winter, and there were, the homeless, and we had this big house. And I remember one night I said to my ex-husband, "I want to go get a few of those people and bring them here."
You did.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
And my ex-husband looked at me like I was crazy, and I said, "My God, they're so cold. They're cold, and I have this big house." But of course, he said, you're afraid of what they could do, and so you fear for your life, which I understand. So and I wish it wasn't that way, because I think there's a lot of people that would do exactly what I'm saying. I know there would be, and I don't know how we got here. And but I know with kindness and kindness, we can get in a better world. No matter what religion, no matter what your political view is, we're in this together. And for God's sake, let's be nice to each other.
Well, and it's learning to be nice to one another can be very difficult sometimes. You want to go, you scream and holler and do that.
Of course.
And I think what you can do is you can go into your car and you can scream and holler and cool down, and then you come back and you start to engage again. You just have to learn how to be able to discharge the energy without hurting the person that you love. Because just because you have disagreements or differences of opinions, there's no reason to hate that person.
No, absolutely not.
How can you hate people that you love?
I can't.
I can't either. I mean, I can't.
And I think most people don't, because they have to hurt inside if they're doing something wrong. You're inside, your spirit, somebody's speaking to you there. You got to feel some kind of pain, and I think that's saying it's wrong. And if we listen to our inner self, I think we would make the right decision most of the time.
And you know what? That's that inner self that I think is such an important thing for people to return back to. That is the voice of God in you.
Absolutely.
That's your conscience. That's the part of you that is connected to everybody else. You are your unique signature. Your uniqueness, your eachness in this beautiful world and universe that we live in.
That's right.
But we all have that sting that tells us this is right, this is wrong, this is good, this is bad, this is don't do this. If it's not right, don't do it. That kind of a thing. But I think we've drowned that out with a lot of our technology, with a lot of the things that distract us, that a lot of the things that keep us from being connected to ourself. Like we're at war with ourselves.
Oh, truly we are. And this new technology, it's wonderful in so many ways, but it has taken the humanity, the human part away.
Yeah.
People don't talk to each other anymore. I mean, I see children, all they are is on their phone, I have to tell you a story. About 3 years ago, or whatever, I picked up my grandson, who was 15 at the time, from school. And I've been telling him that when I pick him up, just put the phone down, look at me, and acknowledge that I'm there. So I picked him up, and he must have had a bad day, and he's got this on that stupid phone, and I took the phone away from him, and he got angry, and he goes, no, you can't do that. And I said, yeah, I can. So you're going to talk to me. And then, anyway, we continued. He was not happy with what I did, or he would, like I said, he had a bad day. So then we get to the light, and somebody cut me off or something, and he said a nasty word. I'm not going to repeat what he said. And guess what I did? I took my hand and I backed him.
Which nanas can do.
But bless his heart, he was so cute. And he was shocked because he didn't expect that. He goes, no, you can't do that. I says, yes, I can. And now we can go to the police, and I can tell them what happened, and then we'll continue from that. Would you like to do that? And he goes, no, I'm sorry. And we made up, and it was fine. He kissed me, and he says, I'm sorry. So I just wanted a little bit of his time.
Yeah.
And to acknowledge that I was there, and I think that's what we need to do. Acknowledge each other.
Yeah.
That's what's missing.
It's connection.
Yeah.
It's connection. It's acknowledging. It's not artificial. I mean, the technology is amazing. I mean, we're able to do this TV radio show here, and we're able to reach the entire globe. I mean, you can see we got the globe that's
it's
going.
wonderful.
And some of it can be really amazing and wonderful, and how we're able to conduct conversations now with Zoom and all, but at the same time, the most important connection is with the people that are next to you. And if you don't know how those skill sets, if you don't know how to connect to people and how to treat them, you become very closed in. I think you become a very closed system, which doesn't allow, and angry, right?
And I think that's why a lot of it is nobody talks. We don't talk. We don't show our emotion, our affection, or our anger, or if you're upset with somebody, tell them or talk to them, not just ignore it, because once you ignore it, it sits in your heart, in your system, and it just builds. And it probably was an inch of a problem. By the time you get to it, it's a foot. And so we have to deal with things as they come up. And the most important thing, like a connection with the humanity. We've lost that, and we need to get back to it, whichever way. And give somebody a hug once in a while. Even with this pandemic, put your 3 masks on, whatever, give somebody a hug. You know, we do, I do.
We do, right? Before, I want to, because we're talking about, people are at war with themselves. They're separated from themselves. And I just have launched a new website yesterday. Actually, I just published it.
Yep.
And there it is, right there before you. You can see it's called, this is coresoulhealing.com. And it's, about reconnecting and helping people to heal from their traumas, to have a deeper connection to the mind and their bodies, and to restore the soul. And so you can go into it. It's live now. We have classes. We have programs. We also have coaching and retreats and everything that we're coming up after this pandemic is over, when everybody's going to want to just explode because you got to get out when you want to connect.
That's right.
And you've all gone through this collective trauma together, and these things that we are needed to process and realign ourselves with what's really important. And so you can be able to find all of those coachings and the programs right there. In our retreat that we're going to be doing, God willing, we'll be able to. It's going to happen in September, right here up in Loveland, Colorado, at Sunrise Ranch. You'll be able to discover the world. We're going to be traveling around the world in different places and connecting to the sacred sites and journeys to help you understand. It's a full program that I have been working on for many, many years, right, Ma?
Yes, you have. And to all of you, not because he's my son, but if you participate in any of this, you will enjoy it to the fullest. He is great. And if I'm going to do it, but actually, I'm going to help him. So check into it. There's some wonderful things that he's going to do.
Well, and this is it. This is like the first retreat that we're going to have. It's called the Warrior's Heart Retreat. And we're going to be, working on, there's a whole detail about how this retreat is going to help you. And we're going to be looking at it from we combine Western and Western science, Eastern methodologies for a full comprehensive program that's going to help you to heal a deep wound. It's for you if you've lost something, if you experience betrayal, abandonment, PTSD, trauma, loss, anything like that. That's who this is going to be for. It's September 16th through the 19th. This year at Sunrise Ranch in Loveland, Colorado. It's going to be our inaugural retreat. I would love for all of you to join. We can only limit it to 20 people. It will sell out, and it is for 11/11. I mean, can you imagine? If for those of you who resonate with that and you understand the importance of that number, we have figured out that we can get you. That's going to be the best price and best deal for you. So please check it out. Go to coresoulhealing.com. It's just been published. Yeah.
Yesterday.
It took me a long time to get it together.
Yeah, quite a bit, but it's beautiful and it's very professional. And I believe that if you have any issues and problems, don't feel alone. There is help out there, and he will be able to really heal your heart and your soul. And that's so important. So important. You're not alone, and do yourself a favor. You deserve it for yourself, because life is too short, and you need to live it the best you can.
Well, if you could go to the Council podcast as well, you can see where we are on the website and the classes that we have there that are geared towards helping you to understand yourself. Because any great healer, any great therapist, any great coach knows they can only lead you so far. It's not them who does it. It's you who has to do it. You have to do the work. We can only guide you. Healing happens from within. And so these are courses and curriculum that I've put together through years of study to try to hone a program that will help you to elevate and lift your story into the mythic dimensions, to understand how theater and ritual help to enable you to share your story on a platform that allows other people to commiserate and share your story in community on the stage, to understand the process of the soul going from this war of the soul where we get pulled apart, where we end up going into the underground, and that journey that it's required to come back up, and how we do that. We look at literature and psychology and spirituality and all these different places to help you to discover your journey and to help you to heal your soul. And then also the path to peace. And then, of course, we've got the council right here, which this is our way of being able to reach out to the world and make a difference and to reach to new heights. And we are intending on having more programs out there sharing with you some of the brilliant things that people are doing around the world, because there's a lot of good things that are happening, and we want to be a part of that. We want to share that with you. And so we're going to be doing more programmings with that. You can contact me. Services are over there. These are all the different classes. This is the 12-week course for the Heart of Darkness and the War on the Soul. And you can look through all of it so that you can learn if this course is right for you. And we will be doing this twice a year. It will be in online classes. And if you want to do installment plans and you really feel like these courses are right for you, call me, email me. You can email me and contact me on this website, and we'll find a way to make it happen. Same thing if you want life coaching. We'll find a way to make it happen. I want to help you. I want you to have the life that you were meant to live. I mean, and that's what we're about. We're about healing trauma. We're about deepening the mind-body connection and restoring the soul. So check it out. You can contact us. Put all your information right there, and then we'll get started. So.
Well, if you had any doubt that he has a passion for it, you probably don't after that speech. He has such a passion and believes in this so much that any of you will not go wrong for doing it. Take my word for it.
See, this is why I had her come and join me today, was for that. So, yeah, anyway, these are the coaching services. You can find it. But let's get back to our conversation now.
Right.
And, you know, I want to bring in a lot of the stories that you had, because, I mean, this is about heartwarming stories. We want to bring some warmth and love and, you know, love. We got St. Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, love is a beautiful thing, and it's a two-way street. It's not a one-way, and
it's not a one-way street.
No.
Okay.
But there's different way of loving people, but relationships between a couples, it's a two-way street. You have to listen to each other. You have to nurture that relationship, which is in my relationship we didn't do that, and that's wrong. But when I had my first child, which is the one next to me, I thought, I was not just, I loved my child. I've always wanted children. And then when I had my second one, I thought, I was pregnant, I thought, how can I love another one? I mean, Charlie has all my heart. And it's an amazing thing, when I saw my little girl, my heart grew bigger. And the heart grows bigger and bigger the more you love. We have this capability of really, our heart gets bigger as the more we love. And sometimes love hurts. But you gotta, and you'll deal with that. If you have faith, if you have good friends, and if you believe in yourself and treat the other person like you want to be treated.
Yeah, I think that's such a big part of it, is to be able to love each other, to treat the person that you love and accept them for who they are.
Absolutely.
I think that's one of the biggest things, is because sometimes people will fall into relationships or marriages or friendships, and you sacrifice who you are in order to fit in. You want to be a part of the group. You want to be among the the jocks or the whoever, and you want to be included, and so you do things that go against who you are. And I think that's one of the most important things, is you want to bring who you are into a relationship, so you don't have to hide any part of you. right?
Yeah, but if somebody loves you, or they love for who you are. Of course, there's a lot of things that you have that people are not as they're not positive. But we all have negative things.
But if you have like an addiction or something, or you're an abuser, no, that's part of it. But yeah, there has to be some temperance with that. Yeah.
Absolutely. When your personality, how you behave, how you treat people, it shows how you act. It's your behavior. And sometimes it's not just words, it's how you behave and how you treat people, how you make them feel when they're with you.
Yeah.
And love is a beautiful thing. And, and there's different ways, relationships with children, parents, and sisters and brothers, and different categories.
Mm-hmm.
But it could all be beautiful, and once in a while it goes sour for a while, but then you go back. You go back to the roots of what, and realize what's really important.
Mm-hmm.
How important is this person to you? How important is, at the end of the day, if you stay mad or if you don't, is it worth it? Is it worth it? And you have to ask that for yourself.
Mm-hmm. What if people have like big differences? Do you think it's still possible for them to be in a marriage or relationship? Let's say someone is, I don't know. Different nationality, different. They eat different things. One likes vegetarian food, and the other one likes to have chicken.
Yeah, I think you can make it work. You respect each other. If you don't criticize, or if I'm a vegetarian and you don't like vegetarian, I can't make you. That's okay.
Is it okay?
It's absolutely. You can't force another person. You still have to remember that you are you.
Right.
And the other person has to accept your differences.
Yeah.
But if those differences cause you problem, then there's a problem.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But if, I don't know, it can't be done.
Do you ever feel sometimes that we try to force the other person to be something we want them to be?
Absolutely.
Rather than just saying, wow, what an amazing woman, or what an amazing guy.
But you got to look at the good things of a person.
Yeah.
If you want to change them, then you got the wrong person.
See? Yep.
Completely. I mean, and if if that person knows that, like, if the person that I'm seeing knows that I like something and they don't like it. If I like opera and they hate opera,
Right.
but once in a while, get 2 tickets. The person has to, and then force yourself to go. And then, if vice versa, if the person likes football and I hate it, I got to go to a football game once in a while.
Yeah.
Just to see his part of life or her part of life, their part of life.
It should be a mutual reciprocity.
Absolutely.
Where you're sharing, I'm sharing in your life, and you're sharing in my life.
Yeah.
And the people that are there in my life.
But not forced.
Right. And vice versa.
Because if it's forced, then you resent that human being.
Yeah.
And forcing someone but if you truly love someone, you do it automatically.
Yeah.
It's an automatic thing. You want the other person to be happy, to feel good. And you feel good when you do it, even if you don't like it, because you see that person happy.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what it's about. I'm old.
But I don't think love isn't jealous. Love isn't envious. Love is not cruel. Love is, they say, well, love, it hurts. I've heard that before.
Sometimes it does.
Sometimes it does. But actually, love doesn't hurt.
It's
when people don't trust in love, and where they deceive, they betray, they cheat.
That's right.
That's what hurts. Or they break the bond. They hurt. That. But it's not the love that hurts.
No, it's what those actions.
When somebody's jealous or
you don't trust. That
you can't let them go be who they are. You've got to snuff out their light because they're shining so bright.
Yeah.
And so because instead of that being a signal to me to say, oh my gosh, she's such a bright. Well, I'm not gonna. I should lift myself up. I should shine as bright as.
Be proud.
Or I should be proud. And then lift her up and not be worried. Instead, I've got to
Right.
push you down. I've got to insult you. I've got to demean you. I've got to tell you how, you know,
Yeah, start trouble
being-
where
be a
there need to
misogynist
be.
and
That's
all
right.
that kind of stuff, right?
But everybody has wonderful qualities.
Yeah.
If we build on the good qualities, we all have, the
Yeah.
bad ones or whatever. But you gotta let them go.
Mm-hmm.
And most of people have the good qualities overpower the bad ones.
Mm-hmm.
And with love, you overcome a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And you cannot force another human being to do what you, and do not abuse them or make them feel bad, and do not ever talk down on a human being. You treat human beings with respect, no matter who they are, no matter what color, no matter the family, no matter what religion. And I think, like I said, all the religion, all roads lead to Rome, all religion lead to God.
Mm-hmm.
And mine isn't the perfect nobody,
Yeah.
but you should just, if my religion causes you pain, then you have something to complain about.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm not causing you any pain, what's the problem?
Right. Right.
What's the problem? And that's, I don't know. I know humanity, we just gotta keep trying, getting it right.
That's it, you know. I mean, and if we were perfect, we wouldn't have to be going through these challenges, right?
Oh, I know. I came here to this country in 1958.
Whew, my gosh.
I know.
You look so young. Are you kidding? You look great.
I didn't teach him to lie. Really?
She did.
Okay. Well, anyway.
I'm not a good liar anyway.
This.
Am I a good liar?
No.
I'm terrible.
No.
She knows.
Anyway, I
Can't
came
lie.
here and as a young girl, I didn't want to come to America. I did not. I didn't want to leave my friends. I cried and cried and cried. We came on the ship.
You were 11, right?
I was 11 years old, so
Mhm.
it tells you how old I am. And we came on the ship, came to New York and all that kind of stuff. I'm not gonna. It was a very, very difficult time for me personally. I didn't speak any English,
Mhm.
and we took the train to from New York to come to Colorado. We came to Colorado with my mother, my sister, and my brother at that time. I had not seen my father for 4 years. My father came here in 1954, and no telephone.
You didn't have any kind of like.
No, I didn't.
Where is it? Wi-Fi
Nothing.
and
You didn't see a letter.
WhatsApp. You have any WhatsApp?
A letter every few months, whatever. Anyway, I didn't recognize my
You guys
dad.
survived? How'd you do that?
Amazing, isn't it? As how you can. Anyway, we got here, and of course, I was miserable. I was miserable. I cried every day, because I did not speak English, and I didn't want to. I wanted to go back home. And my mother and father, bless their heart, at that time, I mean, I wasn't mad at anybody. I wasn't mad at America, of course. I was mad at my mom and dad for bringing me here. But as I grew older and I understood, and they did the best they could, they wanted a better life for all of us, and they were so happy to be here, so happy. But I cried and cried for the 1 year because I didn't speak English.
How did you learn how to speak English?
Well, I used to sit at. I went to 5th grade. I finished 5th grade in Italy, and then I came here and they made me repeat 5th grade because I didn't speak English. And I would just sit in the classroom and just sit there like a dummy or whatever, not a dummy. I was just sitting there.
You just couldn't understand. It was just a language.
So I would hear words and I write them down the way I heard them. And I had a cousin of mine, the way I heard, the teacher speak. And then after school, I would go and visit my cousin, and bless his heart, he was a wonderful, wonderful man. And I tell him, and he would tell me in English what I heard, and he would spell it out for me and told me the meaning. So every day my vocabulary increased. But I have to tell you, the first day I went to school here in America, I didn't know that there was lunch. In Italy, there was no lunch When we got home, I mean, you got out of school and you went home. Well, I was sitting there, and all of a sudden everybody leaves. You know, the kids, they were excited to go to lunch. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, where did everybody go? And I'm waiting and waiting, waiting. And then they came back. I thought, geez. I thought, about 1 o'clock I was getting hungry. But anyway, finally, after school, we got out at 3 o'clock, 3:30 at the time. And I went to my cousin and I said, where did everybody go? Because nobody told me anything. And guess what? I am not scarred. I don't need a psychiatrist. Nobody did anything to me. That's just the way it was. Anyway, my cousin explained it. Boy, I didn't miss a meal after that. But nevertheless.
So then you assimilated and you got a part of the American culture.
That's right, that's right.
And there was an Italian community that was here.
It was all the Italians. It was called Little Italy.
It's in North Denver here.
North Denver, and I worked there was a little creamery, and that's where I learned a lot. He was Italian. The guy helped me, and I was 11 years old. He made me work, and he would explain things to me. Anyway, so it's continued. The year I kept crying and crying, and because I wanted to go home, and my parents said, they finally said, okay, we'll let you go back as soon as we can, because they had a lot of debts to pay for all the trips, and my mother was working 2 jobs, and all those things that people have to do. And they said, as soon as we can, we'll send you back. I said, okay, that made me happy, so I went to school. I bought it. And they kept their word. And after I graduated from high school, an opportunity came because my oldest sister, or one of my sisters, with her family needed to come to America. They needed to come, and if she didn't come, she would miss her turn. And my grandma was living with them, with my sister in Italy. My grandma, who was my mother's mom, was 86 years old, and my mom didn't want her, if my sister left, then my grandma would be alone. So they asked me if I'd go back and stay with her until they could make the papers for my grandma to come. And of course, I was delighted. I was delighted. I wanted to go back. It was 8 years later. Okay, so.
Which was a big change from what you were before as a little girl when you came here. And you were angry and you were upset and you didn't know the language and you were.
By now,
and so now you're.
I'm American. I'm Americanized now. Okay, but I still wanted to go back. So I was excited.
So you brought America with you to this little village, right?
Oh God, man! I turned upside down. I go there. I was 18 years old, almost 19. And at that time, the miniskirts were in, but I go to this little town, 500, 600 people. They never seen that, and so I was not very welcomed at first.
Well, they had never seen anything like this before.
Right? My girlfriends, and my girlfriends, I had makeup and all this kind of stuff. So it was really quite a shock for them. And it was a shock for me because when I got there, things hadn't changed that much. There still was no bathroom inside. There was all those things that I took for granted for America.
Yeah.
Oh my God! So I packed my bags. My sister was with me for 3 days. They left, her and her family, and I stayed with my grandma. Here's 86 years old, 18-year-old, I'm American. So it was quite a challenge for me and for her, for my poor grandma. And I'm wearing makeup. My girlfriends would come over and I'd put makeup on them because all my friends were still there. And so it was, I corrupted the whole town.
You were corrupting. You were bringing in like a whole. You were like a revolutionary.
Oh, I was.
You were there. You were like upsetting the balance. You were bringing chaos.
Oh my God!
And creating disorder. And you were like bringing out like.
Yeah, and
the modern age into a little village, right?
I know, and I missed America, and I thought, oh no, what am I doing here? So I packed my bags 3 or 4 times for the first month, and then I became accustomed. You get adjusted, and and I could not leave my grandma. I couldn't. excuse me. So anyway, and then all my friends, of course, and I got accustomed, and I started having fun with my friends, and I ended up staying 8 months because my mother could not make the papers for my grandma. She had to become a citizen to make the papers.
And you almost converted a priest, right?
Oh, well, that's another story. Oh, yeah. Yes, that's
a great story. It's one of my favorite stories of my mom.
I go to church with my girlfriend, and this handsome,
she was a young girl.
Handsome priest. That was the talk of the town.
Because you were beautiful. Yeah.
Anyway, and we fell in love with me. And every Sunday, the mothers would complain to him because I was putting makeup on their daughters. And then, of course, at that time, the priests, they ruled kind of the towns, they were whatever. So every Sunday he'd call me in the back to talk to me about how bad I was for putting makeup on these girls. And it wasn't that much, but anyway, I can't go into all that stuff. But anyway, I ended up staying 8 months, but I loved it then. I really did. Mm-hmm. I loved the people. I got in a dance, folk dancing group. We'd go dancing around. And my mom finally, after the second time, because she didn't pass the first time the test to get her citizenship papers, she got it the second time, so she was able to do the papers for my grandma. And so we came in October. I went there in March, and we came back at the end of October. Mm-hmm. And my grandma, who had never left the town, ever.
In all 86 years, she
never left the town.
Mama Maria never left.
Mama Maria. Uh-huh. That's what we called Grandma. Nonna. Anyway, Mama Maria, so we got on the plane in Rome. I mean, she was so excited to come. She was just this little lady and very scared and very, Yeah. And we left, it was daytime from Rome. When we got to New York, it was still daytime, and we'd been flying, I don't know, 8 and 10 hours at that time, 11 hours. And she says to me, Tria, that means Adriana, doesn't it get dark in America? So, bless her heart, she couldn't read. I mean, she was 86, so you can imagine, but she was so scared when she saw all those people, and it was kind of shocked that she us here.
And she was just a little tiny thing, too.
But she was happy to be here. When we got to Denver, of course, my mom, everybody was happy. And
how long was it between, how many years between Mama Maria and when you left for Italy?
8 years.
8 years. So she hadn't seen any of you for 8 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 8 years. So that's what happened. Anyway.
It's a great story. I mean, it just makes me fun because you think those are those stories that you treasure, that we carry with us in our family lineage, and sometimes they get forgotten just because the people who were there, things time and pass away. And we've had some pretty amazing experiences too growing up. Fun stories. We've got so many stories.
Oh my God.
Right?
Yeah. Which one should we talk about first?
You go ahead and pick whichever one you want to talk about first.
Let me see. When we went to California.
Okay. I was 16 years old. We were going to California, and we were going out to Disneyland. It was a senior in high school.
He was a senior in high school, and it was, and I'm I don't know what I want to say. I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm just.
She's very
motivated.
You're very motivated. You're focused, and you.
And I'm going to get it done.
You're going to get it done. Right.
Okay. It was January. It's cold. It's cold. It's
like right now.
And so I had 5 kids, and me. He's the oldest. He was 16, and his friend. Then my daughter, who was 14, and the other one was 8. My other son, and my other son, who was 5 or 6. So we take off with this car, and we drive, and we get to Grand Junction, and it was snow and horrible. And
I was driving.
And and he was driving, and the car, I don't know, the engine went out or something. And
the transmission was going out in the car.
So it was late at night, and we found the car was not doing very well, and we found the first hotel, and of course this one next to me. No, we had to go to a Motel 6 or something.
It was a Holiday Inn. No, we had
Or
to
Holiday,
go.
and I says, it's right here, let's just stop. No, he wouldn't stop. But anyway, we got to the place, and luckily it worked out better because right next door there was a Cadillac place. I had a
It was the
Cadillac.
only Cadillac mechanic in the town, and it was right next door to the hotel.
So the guy, okay, he says, well, the transmission, it's going to take a week, and we're there. And I said, what? And I said, a week? Okay, let's rent a van. We're moving on. We're going.
We were just going. We didn't let anything stop us. We just kept on going.
We kept on going. We went to California.
We
Came
did.
back. The car was ready. Moving right along.
Well, one of the funniest on that trip was Gianfranco.
Oh.
That's her middle son and my third sibling. And anyway, we were going. We just got left Disneyland. We were in San Diego, and we were in this hot tub, right? And Gianfranco was notorious for talked all the time, and he just wouldn't stop talking. He just talked and
thin, yeah.
And he was thin, and so we were in this hot tub, and my buddy Mike Palmer, who's probably listening to the show today, and Dana were in there. That's my other brother. And all of a sudden you hear Gianfranco going, it's sucking me in, it's sucking me in.
But he always cries wolf. He always says these stories, and you never know when it's true or not. And I wasn't there. Well, my daughter and I were in the room, and they were, and I guess he's sucking me in. He was in the hot tub.
Yeah, the screen on the hot tub was taken off, so it was actually sucking him in.
But nobody believed him. And
he comes out and he's walking like a little old man. He's holding his back and he's like, oh.
And he's crying. We came in, and
Yeah.
Nobody believed him. But anyway, that was that one.
Well, we had great memories, and they were just like you have to hold on to that love, to getting back to that idea of what the show today's about. That sense of these are those memories. Love is in action, I think, and you see that in action. And we had those moments, and all families have had challenges, and we certainly have had our challenges, but it's about those memories of being in action and where we laughed and those things that just stand out that, every time we reminisce about it, it brings us joy. It brings us connection. That thing that we're missing is that sense of connection, and it connects us to a different period in space-time, it links us back. And we're like, oh my gosh, now I remember. Now I know why this is, so important to me. Now I can clear away some of the fog that's in my brain that makes me forget why this is such a beautiful thing.
And what's important, and and you just memories. Hopefully, most of them are good, but and sometimes they're not so good. But you appreciate the good ones if you've gone through some bad ones. And then, another story. With this one graduated from the Air Force Academy. I hadn't been back to Italy for 30 years, and I said to my ex-husband at the time, ex-husband now, but at the time we were married, I said, and we were going to be married 25 years, and I said, and I wanted to take my children, all 4 of them, to Italy. I wanted them to experience with me where I was born and all that, and I said, so I don't want no party, I don't want nothing, blah, 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 blah. So I said, I want to take them to Italy. So because he had some time off, I started making all these plans to go to Italy and take my children, our children. And so I made the plans, and it was we were going to be there 6 weeks, we were going to do a tour, we were going to do this, and this wonderful, wonderful stuff. And that night, I had a travel agent helping me, and that night when my husband came home, I told him, it's going to cost this, it's going to cost, and he goes, he couldn't believe it, all the things I wanted to do and how expensive it was going to be. And he said, do you know how many times you can take them to Disneyland? And I felt kind of guilty because it was a lot of money, and I thought, oh my goodness, we could do this, we could do this, and we, So anyway, I decided, well, maybe we shouldn't go. So that the next day, I went to this Italian store, Carboni's, and there was some people there, and they all knew that I was going to go to Italy and take my kids, and these older people are excited for me, and I said, well, I don't know, it's going to be expensive. I don't think I'm going to do it. And so this woman that was there, an older lady, she said, shame on you. She says, I'm going to give you a piece of advice. And she says, if I could go back, I would do exactly what I'm telling you. She says, take your children. I don't care if you have to charge your credit cards. Do whatever you have to do. Make these memories. She says, here I am. I have all this money and nobody to share it with. So, being who I am, I went home, called the travel agent. I said, book him. Didn't even wait for my husband.
No.
And anyway, it was a trip of a lifetime.
Oh my gosh, that trip was amazing. It was
And
so incredible. It was a perfect trip.
Yes, it was. When we got to Rome, and I remember, my daughter chose not to go that time. That's another story. But it was me and my 3 sons, and
I just graduated from the academy, so this is 1996. I was 24 years old, 23, 24.
And my youngest one, Dana, was 9 or 10.
Jeez. Oh my gosh, that's 20 plus years ago.
Yeah,
How did that happen?
we as we're coming on Rome on the airplane, it just like it was pulling me down, and I started crying, and my children saw me. So, it's a feel. You're home. And so anyway, we did all these beautiful things, but in Rome, my youngest one, who was he was sleeping in my room, because we had this beautiful tour, he would get up at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock every morning, and he'd say, let's go, Mom, let's go, we got to see. He wanted to walk where Caesar walked. He wanted to he was so excited to be, because he had read all these things and seen these things, and we'd have to get going. He was just so excited to get going.
He was ready. And he wasn't usually like that. So for him to suddenly get so animated and up early and, get away, trying to force us to get out of bed.
And he was always hungry.
He was definitely
always hungry. And we had to stop to eat and eat. And finally, I was getting tired of going to restaurants. And we went by McDonald's. And he says, Mom, I'm hungry. And I said, okay, here's McDonald's. And you know what he says? Mom, I did not come to Italy to eat McDonald's. Okay. And he writes a postcard to his dad and to a lot of his friends, and he goes, Italy is cool. Anyway, the trip was such a wonderful, and this other story, we were in Venice, and to me, growing up, Venice was another world. Because we just, we were in a very small village. We were very poor. We were, just that's the way it was. You just didn't travel. You didn't go anywhere.
You couldn't afford to.
No.
No.
So I didn't even know where Venice was. How far we didn't know any of that. And we're standing there, getting ready to go on the gondola, and I'm just standing there, and my Gianfranco is filming everything, and I'm standing by the canal, and I'm crying. I started crying, and Dano comes over and hugs me, and he goes, Mom, why are you crying? And I said, because I never thought I'd be here. This is a dream. So all those emotions, I wanted my children to experience and see how I felt. And after that trip, all my kids, my little one, and people would ask, where do you want to go? Italy. Italy. As a matter of fact, my son is going to Italy today.
Well, what I remember too, there were so many memories, but seeing your village for the first time, and walking and seeing where our roots came, and standing across from the house where all of you grew up, and seeing that for the first time. And you welling up with tears and crying, we were all just, this is like, the courage that it took for all of them to be able to leave this little enclave here a village that, most of you hadn't even seen the ocean or the sea.
No, I didn't even know.
And you left this little town and the sea to go back to that. It was really, really special. And to go to Sao Paulo and to go to the little town and the little village up there and to meet all the people and the food. Oh my gosh, we ate so much food.
Yeah, well, Italians love to eat. Love to eat. That's their.
What do you think? As we reflect back on and share some of these stories with people, these heartwarming memories that we've had. What do you think are some important things as parents, to do with their kids while they still have them? I mean, is it like you said? Was it about making those memories like
memories?
That? Yeah.
Memories are and tell them about life. Talk to them. Tell them about your experiences, and if they're willing to listen. Take the phone away. They'll have to listen. But I don't want to cuss, but take that, whatever. Take the phone away. Dedicate, an hour of or half an hour of talking about your life, or take them to your parents' house, your grandparents, people that have lived, and listen to the stories.
Mm-hmm. I think it's stories that connect
stories.
us. I think our stories about, like what we're sharing, it connects us immediately.
Absolutely.
It takes us right there. Stories from, even when you listen to people from other experiences or other cultures, when they start to share their stories, there's something, that we're stories-telling creatures. We just have been telling stories for thousands and thousands of years. And it unites us. It connects us.
And everybody has a story. Mm-hmm. Everybody can make a movie
of their life.
Right. And I'd watch it. I've been watching all these.
You've been watching all these foreign films.
I love stories that are true
really
stories.
Good stories.
And they'll make you cry. They make you laugh. They make but reality. What's real?
Mm-hmm. Human stories.
Human stories.
Human content.
And the stories that I've been watching, like you said, they're not all this killing and all this destruction and all this. You just don't feel good inside.
Yeah.
And we need to feel good. We need to start seeing good stories. The ones that all the killing and stuff, and these kids watch that, and then the next day the people die. The next day they see them someplace else and they're alive. Well, in real life, you're dead. You're dead.
Yeah.
You don't get up the next day.
Right. It's not a video game.
No.
Life is not a video game.
Absolutely not.
No.
And kids need to know the difference, mm-hmm. and limit that kind of stuff because it impacts them. So that's that for that one.
Well, it's and you've been able to do some of your own traveling as well beyond just the family travels that we did.
Oh yeah.
And you've been to Egypt, right?
Yes.
And you were right there on a camel, right?
Oh yeah, I'll tell you that story. I love, I've been, I love traveling. Traveling is an education.
Uh-huh.
And it's so good to see how other people live. Mm-hmm. And 99.9 of the times I come home and say, thank God I live in America.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
America, the places I've been, America is the best country in the world, the land of opportunity. But every place is beautiful. And I've found good people everywhere.
Oh my gosh, yes.
But you got to be nice too. I mean, you can't go there and act like they're not.
You got to be a little bit humble as well. You don't appreciate it,
and respect
but
their ways.
It broadens your mind. It opens your mind. Traveling for me was one of the most enriching things that I've ever done in my life. Was because I've traveled to in Asia. I traveled South America. I've traveled to Europe and the Middle East.
Right.
You see things. It opens your eyes. And it breaks your closed system, where you see only just one way of living. All of a sudden now, all these other people are living differently. And my gosh, poverty was like an eye-opener for me. And I thought, my goodness.
Yeah.
I had no idea people lived like this.
But every place, every place, they just want to be, people want to just have a good life.
Celebrate their culture,
and take care of their children, and just have everywhere that I have been.
Yeah.
And when
Same. That's universal.
It is universal, and I have never really had in Egypt, I got to ride on the camel, and the pyramids were just so amazing. Yeah, you just can't imagine. The pictures don't do it justice. But well, anyway, our group, everybody went on the camel, they went on double, and then I was at the end of the line because I was talking. And then I was the only one left, and the guy, and these camels, they decorate them. They're just absolutely beautiful. And this young man, you know, they have the, whatever they wear, the cow. He was just a nice young man. And he says, you want me to go with you? And I said, no, I run by myself. So I went by myself. When we came back, because, and then, you know, where the tourists are, there's people that are trying to sell you all these little gadgets and whatever. And these, and my girlfriend came in after I got off the camel. She came and talked to me, and here on the other side we're hearing these people, and I don't know if they were Americans or if they could have been Australian. Anyway, they were speaking English, whatever. And these kids were trying to sell them something, these things, and then they were so rude, the English people, whoever they were. And I said to my girlfriend, Jesus, do they have to be that ugly? All they have to say is no. Well, the young man whose camel I had been on, he was right there, and he understood, and he heard what I said. So he tells my friend, I will give you 100 camels if she becomes my wife. And I said, I looked at him, and he was just a darling young man. And I said, I hugged him. I says, you know, honey, I'm married. I gotta go home. But thank you for the.
That's a nice compliment. It was good for 100 camels.
100 camels, mom, or whatever, not mom, the lady there.
Lady, what a compliment to you.
That was so cute, though.
Yeah.
But you know, he was just a darling. You know, and people are just people everywhere.
Yeah.
And are there some bad people everywhere? You better believe it. But you know, that's the way it is. That's life, and it's always been that way, and it will always be, unfortunately. And that's my philosophy.
Well, we're planning on going someday to Israel, right? Jerusalem.
Oh, that's on my bucket list.
That's
I got to walk
list,
where Jesus walked.
There we go.
And I have a devotion to the Blessed Mother.
Yeah.
And
hopefully soon, once this pandemic, right?
Yeah, I hope so. If God wants it. And we're healthy.
There we go.
Got to stay healthy.
Yes, we do. Folks, thank you so much. Well, I just want to do a quick check. I can't believe it's already.
It's over? I got all these other shows.
It goes by fast. I just want to do a quick shout out to KUHS TV Radio Denver. We are broadcasting live here in the beautiful city of Denver, Colorado, and broadcasting all across the nation and all around the world. And we couldn't be doing this without all of the people in the background. Henry and everybody who's working to make this show possible, to be able to make it seem so seamless and easy, and being able to reach all of you in the amazing ways that we can. So thank you, Henry, and everybody here at KUHSdenver.com. We are the stream. Mom, do you have any final words, that you want to say before we were a couple minutes past, but I think we can extend just a little bit for you if you'd like to.
I'd like to say to all of you that are listening, be kind to each other. I know I keep saying that, but that is so important. Remember, faith, family, and friends, and just enjoy life. This is it. This is not a practice. This is it.
This is not a test run?
No.
It's not a rehearsal?
Just life is very short, and be kind to each other. God bless you all.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you for joining me again and for doing this very special show.
Thank you, my son. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the council this week. We will be back next week. We've got another fantastic guest for you. So tune in next week, 1 to 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, right here on the council. The council is adjourned. May you all be well. May you all be free of pain and suffering. May you all be whole. We'll see you next week, everybody. Thank you. God bless.
Ciao.